You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. As you all know, very likely, if you're listening to the show right now, it would be hard for you not to know that over the last week and a half, nearly 2 weeks now, I've had quite a lot of fun celebrating the demise and the destruction and the dismantling of the Alabama dynasty. Nick Saban's retirement was reported while we were live on air. I celebrated, lost my voice. Subsequently, some 30 Alabama football players entered the transfer portal, and not just warm bodies, star players. A 5-star quarterback recruit, a 5-star starting safety who was the best player in their defense a year ago, their starting center, their starting left tackle, a running back, their best receiver, like everybody. All of the bodies are leaving, and I have celebrated every one of them. And my celebrations have garnered quite a bit of attention on Twitter.com, the internet machine, and just all over, sea to shining sea. Well, mostly in the SEC. Other SEC schools, fans are reveling in it, as we are. But Alabama fans are not happy with me. No, they are not. My Twitter mentions tell me so. But what they fail to recognize is that every time they tweet at me, all they're doing is exposing themselves further. All they're doing is fueling my machine. Fueling my hatred machine. That's all they're doing. Every time I read one of their tweets, every time they think they're taking a shot at me, all they're doing is confirming the exact thing I know, because this much I know. Alabama has been a bully in college football for the last 17 years. Don't even try to tell me I'm wrong. Alabama has been a bully, and there is one undeniable truth about a bully. What is deeply rooted in the soul of a bully is insecurity. This is psychologically true. Bullies are bullies because they are insecure. So they pick on the weak. That's what Alabama fans have been for the last 17 years. They've been the bully. But really what they are is just the little yipper dog next to the really big dog. Well, guess what? The big dog just retired. And all you are is a little yipper dog the size of a pile of poop. That's all you are. That's all that's left. And you know it. And every time I point out players leaving your program, every time I point out that it's never, ever, ever going to be the same, it strikes the emotional chord with you. It hits you deep down in your soul, and you damn well know it. You know your security blanket is gone. You know your savior, your hero, your God is retired, and it's never going to be the same again. And you know every time I point out that you just keep bringing in 3-star transfers from Washington, and you try to justify it every which way, you know I'm telling you the truth. You know your dynasty is dead, and it's never coming back, ever. And that rips your soul apart. And I love to revel in it. I love to revel in your misery. The same way that you have stepped on the collective throat of college football for the last 17 years. Payback is a bitch. And a healthy dish of it is being served cold, right in your face, day after day, after day after day. So I told you last week, and this is how predictable it is with these gumps. I told you it was going to happen. Sat right in this chair and told you. Alabama's not going to play with 40 scholarship players next year. They're going to get commitments. Of course they are. They're going to get guys out of the portal. They're going to sign high school players. You got to put together a roster. But the roster of transfers that they put together won't even sniff the caliber of roster that Nick Saban built collectively in Tuscaloosa for nearly 2 decades. And I continue to point that out. Oh, but those Bammers, they don't like that at all. You know what they're doing? They're lowering their standard. They see that Alabama gets a commitment from Parker Brailsford, and they're celebrating. Parker Brailsford signed with Washington in the class of 22. He was the number 522 overall recruit in the country. He redshirted in 2022. Let me ask you, does that sound like an Alabama offensive lineman? Doesn't sound like it to me. Yes, Parker Brailsford started all 15 games for Washington this year, and he was second team all Pac-12. Does that sound like an Alabama offensive lineman? You know who Alabama lost? Seth McLaughlin. A 2-year starter who was taking advantage of his COVID year, was going into his 5th year of college football, would have been his 3rd year starting under center for the Crimson Tide. Instead, you know where he's going? Ohio State. Last time I checked, they don't stink. Let me ask you, Crimson Tide, would you rather a 5th-year senior, 3-year starter at center, or the guy who was the number 522 overall recruit in America who redshirted at Washington? You know the answer, chump. You know the answer good and damn well, but I ain't even done. Yeah, you know what you did? You got a commitment from Jeremy Bernard. You got a commitment from Jeremy Bernard. He's a wide receiver. Washington had a pretty good offense this year. When Jeremy Bernard came out of high school, he was the number 237 recruit in the country. You know who you lost on the offensive side? You lost Isaiah Bond. When Isaiah Bond came out of high school, he was the number 52 recruit in the country. Let me ask you, dear friend, what sounds more like an Alabama receiver? The number 237 player in the country or the number 52 player in the country? You good and gosh darn well know the answer. So you've replaced Isaiah Bond with Jeremy Bernard, and you are not nearly as good at that spot. I am not even done. Oh, they're celebrating in T-Town. Not sure if you heard. They got a quarterback. His name is Austin Mack. Yep, Austin Mack, who signed with Kalen DeBoer there at Washington this year. I'll remind you as well that with Michael Penix gone and Austin Mack right there, the heir to the throne, you know what Kalen DeBoer did? He went into the transfer portal and he got Will Rogers from Mississippi State. Austin Mack, nationally ranked number 214 in the country. Austin Mack joins this roster to replace who? Julian Sayin. 5-star consensus #1 quarterback, national number 5 player overall in the country. You have replaced the number 5 overall player in the country, the #1 quarterback, a consensus 5-star, with a guy that was ranked number 214 in America that Kalen DeBoer did not even trust to play this year at Washington. Alabama, you are not better. You are decidedly worse at every single spot. I haven't even started talking about Caden Proctor, your starting left tackle, or Caleb Downs, your starting safety. You know good and well your roster has been decimated. And yeah, you're going to get commitments. And you're going to try to cry yourself to sleep and convince yourself that some former 3-star lineman who redshirted as a freshman is the guy that's going to take you back to heights, replacing a 5th-year senior at center. But you're only fooling yourself, and it's only a matter of time before they tee it up, kick it off, and you realize that every single nightmare that you have envisioned since the day Nick Saban announced his retirement is coming true. The days, we are counting down the days to that moment. And every day until that moment, I will remind you that your dynasty is over. I will remind you that you have spent 17 years being a bully. And every bully eventually is going to get popped in the nose. You're going to bleed, and you're going to run and cry to your mama. This song is so good for it, too. It's perfect. Woo. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.